NASCAR fines Denny Hamlin for speaking his mind. Denny says he's not going to pay, and now we have ourselves an honest-to-goodness kerfluffle. Welcome into the Sporting News Studios. Tom Vandervoort with our NASCAR editor, Jeff Owens. And Jeff...
Kerfluffle?
A kerfluffle.
Not even sure what that means.
It's an official kerfluffle. Don't find me for saying so. This is a crazy situation. Denny Hamlin gets out of his car at Phoenix and says, basically, it's hard to pass. Tell us what he said that got him fined.
He basically said, it's hard to pass. We still need some work on the new car. The thing that got him in real trouble, I think, is that he said, right now, the Gen 6 car is not a whole lot better than the Gen 5 car. And that's what NASCAR didn't want to hear. They are so sensitive about this new car. Everybody knows now, and even NASCAR admits now, that the COT was horrible. It was a handful to begin with.
Didn't look right, didn't race right.
Right, and it took 5 years for them to really get a handle on it, and it still wasn't a good car in terms of racing side by side, passing, and all that stuff. They desperately don't want the new car to be that way. They've designed it so it'll be differently, and they've become so sensitive to this that they can't take any criticism at all over it. What Denny said to me wasn't harsh at all. It wasn't even harsh criticism.
It seemed to be the equivalent of saying the sky is blue, or maybe it's the equivalent of saying it's a little bit cloudy today. Right. And I hope the sky gets blue soon. And I would submit to you, and I know you just wrote about this, what NASCAR did, I think, harmed their sport more than what Denny Hamlin did. Right.
Yeah, they are very concerned about the perception, the public perception of this car. They don't want fans looking at the races and saying, you know, it's not any good, it's boring, the new car's not working, they can't pass, we don't like this. They don't want that. So they want the drivers to go out and talk about how great it is and all that. They're concerned about public perception. In my opinion, this harms their public perception. This creates a much greater public perception problem than criticism of the new car. Now they've got the fans mad, they've got the other drivers mad, everybody's siding with Denny. They really crossed the line here, and they created for themselves a huge public perception problem and a credibility problem, because now the fans don't know who to listen to. If the driver climbs out of the car now and he praises a new car, are they going to take that as honest opinion?
Well, how could they?
How could they?
Because if he says something critical, he gets fined. So what else is he going to say? I mean, here's where I come down on it. I think the key to marketing NASCAR is to understanding it's not really about the machines. It's about the people driving them, and it's about the personality of those people. Right. And NASCAR needs personality. Right. And we've seen some of that disappear in the sport over the years. We've seen it go away from the cars. Well, NASCAR's realized that, and they've taken the cars back to giving them more personality. We've seen it, some of the racetracks, you know, people say cookie cutter. We've seen it disappear from the tracks a little bit, lost some tracks with personality. And we've seen it disappear from the drivers somewhat. Right. Where they're a little more corporate spokespeople-like. Now you get a guy in Denny Hamlin who pretty much says his mind. He doesn't go out of his way to be a jerk, but he says what he thinks. And now you're going to slap him for saying something that you just took personality out of your sport. If I'm marketing NASCAR racing, I want personality in my sport. Now you've taken it away, not just from Denny Hamlin, but from every other driver who comes into that media center, has a microphone stuck in front of his face on pit road. Yeah. I think it's a bad move.
It's a big step back. And even NASCAR has acknowledged in the recent years that they need more personality. You know, they had this whole boys have at it push, and they told the drivers, say what you want, show some emotion, take matters into your own hands. We like that. It's good for the sport. Now they've taken a step back because they've throttled this guy. You know, they've told Denny and the other drivers, they sent the message that you can't do that. You can't criticize this car. If you want to make other critical comments, fine, but this car is a sacred cow. It's off limits. We don't want to hear it. And that is the wrong message to send to the garage, a wrong message to send to the fans, and the wrong message for the sport. It makes NASCAR look like they're ruling with an iron fist again, and the fans don't want that. I mean, I think this was a huge mistake on their part. And I don't know how they rectify it now. I mean, we've already got guys, other drivers lining up in Denny's corner. He says he's not going to pay it. Jeff Burton says it's an overreaction. And if Jeff Burton says it's an overreaction,
he's a pretty thoughtful guy.
Yeah, that's pretty big. So NASCAR now has got a huge public perception problem and a credibility problem, and they've got to now step back and look at this and try to fix it.
Well, there is one thing they could do. They could say, we were wrong. We overreacted. Is there any chance that they would do that, do you think? I mean, I feel like they are generally pretty good at looking at their sport and making changes when changes have to be made.
And they've made great moves in the past few years. They've listened to the fans, and they've done things like the double file restart, green, white, checkered. Even this new car, they listened to the fans, and they came out with a brand new car. So they've been doing the right things. Now they got to do it again, and they got to say
on this one, but I really feel like maybe they should
let Denny appeal, rescind this penalty, rescind this fine, and send the message that, hey, maybe we missed it on this one.
It happens,
it's okay for you guys to say what you mean and say what you think, and we'll go back to having free speech and open, honest discussion and all that, and everybody will be happy again. But I think they got to take a strong look at this.
Absolutely. All right, Jeff, we'll see what happens. There may be more coming out about this in the weeks to come. We'll certainly be on it. For Jeff Owens, I'm Tom Vandervoort. Thanks for watching.